nutrition, home economics, exercise, because if I exercise a lot, I can drink a couple of Coca-Colas. So these are complex things, only 2 teaspoons or whatever. It really depends on how much you exercise. So I think really the core is education and personal responsibility. One of the things I see happening in this country is these lawsuits about with obese people and stuff. I mean, an individual in this country has to take responsibility. We need education around people taking responsibility for what they're putting in their body and what they're doing in their bodies. I shouldn't be subsidizing someone's choice to do that. They should be taking personal responsibility.
Well, that's easy to say that, but when you have multi-billion-dollar industries flooding the airways with commercials, it's not so easy to take personal responsibility when you're a child, okay? And you're watching cartoons on Saturday morning, whatever, and it's Captain Crunch and Fruit Loops and everything else. And it's like, I disagree. I think the government has to step in on that to protect children.
I agree. Education, because I'm going to tell you, when I was doing my rounds as a medical student, I would carry, for example, a bag of almonds, raw ones. And I'm like crunched on them while we're doing our rounds, because you know it's hard to get food, real food sometimes when you're so busy. And then they stopped the rounds one time, you know, one of the, like, it's like, what are you eating? I'm like, oh, almonds? He's like, why? You know, I was just like, so, but if I were to take a Cheetos out and munch on them, I would have never been told that. So now they call you a health freak, but I'm like, hold on a second here. How the heck did this change? And you know, the Captain Crunch, or is this where toddler commercials? If you were to ask people 100 years ago, which is the freak, they're gonna say, dude, the guy that's eating that orange, glistening, whatever, Cheetos is the freak, you know what I mean? But now you're the health freak if you're eating stuff that people have been eating for thousands of years. The only way that changes is with, you know, advertising and these marketing geniuses. So, and you know what's so funny? I have to stop the show. She goes right now and gets a diet Coca-Cola.
Okay, talk about that.
That's the frustration that we see. I'm telling you sometimes. And you just have to take it light and you know, you have to roll with it, because sometimes you have patients who, you know, you tell them, and they'll come in the next visit with the Coca-Cola from the vending machine that they're selling, and you know, and you're just like, again, just make note of it, and that's it. You don't have to go too much with them. You know what I mean? There's so much opportunity out there, you know. But once in a while, it's okay.
Moderation.
Exactly.
I agree with the education. If the kids cannot make decisions for themselves, then it's the parents' responsibility. They can do it. And I take every day half an hour to explain to my kids why we eat almonds for snack and not everything. And my son comes and tells me that somebody was eating that for the snack and he was making fun of it. You know what? And he knows what is the best choice. And I think education, if not, you know, because that's ultimately, by the end of the day, it's your health.
And obviously the government has to have a role in being a facilitator of what's taught in schools. So I don't disagree on that, but this talk about taxes and excessive government control, all you have to do is look at the Soviet Union and the addiction rate with alcohol to understand that government solutions on taxation have severe costs and aren't necessarily the solution.
So we should take out the tax for cigarettes. Make them cheap. Make them $1 a pack.
Because that's what the cigarette companies
Actually,
do.
you know, we've sort of delved over into cigarettes, and obviously, you know, that's a different thing.
Here's another different thing.
We disagree. Let's continue this, and maybe we can get 2 more in. Thank you for all your questions. We do have a variety of practitioners up here with different backgrounds, and so one of the questions is, does your medicine discuss different types of body constitutions, and if so, how do you tailor eating to those types?
Nothing. I was hoping for that. So yes, we do. We have 3 basic constitutions, and the permutation combination of all those 3. So that makes 7 constitution total. And like I said, each element contributes to each humor and then that constitution. So choosing it like for example, Vata constitution, you just choose the food which is like not dry and cold, because like you take the attributes into consideration that, okay, what increases Vata and what decreases Vata. So something like cold and dry food increases Vata. So if you have Vata constitution, then you would not eat dry food. But not to mention that for the Kapha constitution, it is actually good because they have so much damp and so much heavy constitution, so they need that dry food and warm food. So instead of taking up everybody's time to explain, we do have notes. Email me if you have any individual questions. I don't want to take that.
Just briefly, because I tell my patients, you can't just say, oh, this is healthy, so it must be good for you, because everybody's body is different. So it really depends how you feel. I mean, I don't have like sensitive biochemical assays, whatever, to say what you need, what you don't need. Those tests exist actually, but not in our practice. So I just make it more simple. I said, when you eat that broccoli or whatever, does it make you feel better or make you feel worse? Kind of a thing. Kind of like what Deb was saying to her first graders. And you know, everything I ever knew I learned in kindergarten. So yeah, you basically just go by that. Just feel like, you know, does that food give you energy? Even though it's a health food, sometimes you don't feel good after eating that particular food. Like you actually feel, I mean, have you guys had that experience where, wow, this should be amazing for me, but you just don't get that energy? That's probably because, you know, we are trillions of cells and everybody's different, so you have to kind of respect that feeling.
So was it difficult though, because people don't practice proper food combining techniques most of the time, and so they may not be aware. I think so many people are also in general still feeling sluggish or like crap in the general way of being, and it's hard to really know until you stop doing all those things. Like you can take it out and add it back in for 2 weeks, then you tell. So how do you get them to do that?
Well, one perfect example of that is caffeine, because people feel good after they drink caffeine, but in reality, you're messing up your sleep cycle if you're doing it 10 to 12 hours before sleep. So that's one thing I kind of emphasize with our patients. We give a lot of muscle relaxers. The only way those work is if you can't sleep because of the pain. It's better to take a pill and get a good night's sleep than not to take a pill and then be sleep deprived all night long, you know? So muscle relaxers, they just make your muscles, they make you drowsy. When you sleep, your muscles relax. You actually get paralyzed during REM. So just briefly, there's 5 stages of sleep. And the deep stages are the ones that give you all the energy, all the healing for the next day. So what happens is people are drinking caffeine close to bedtime, 10 to 12 hours close. And then what happens, they don't get enough deep sleep. So they wake up tired, they can't make it through the day. So what must they do? Drink more caffeine. That screws up their next night of sleep. So there's this vicious cycle that, you know, all these energy drinks are capitalizing on. They're just adding more and more caffeine, addicting more and more people with sugar and the crack and the caffeine, which I don't know, we call that methamphetamine or something. But, so yeah, you have these 2 sugar and caffeine combinations working together. And then, so you have to kind of cut off 10 to 12 hours before, so that way you get a good, healthy, deep, quality sleep. Then you wake up more refreshed just based on that.
Okay, just real quick, just to follow up on the food, I guess, prescription for constitutional types. I have to say that this is where Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine really shine. And I'm actually kind of jealous because I think it is, you know, I try to treat as individually as possible, and I wish I did know more about, and this is truly let your food be your medicine and let your medicine be your food, when it can be that individualized, and I think that's something that we can all learn a little bit more about.
There's one person I would like to speak in the audience. Is Diane Heidi still here from the Gerson Institute? Okay. Is she here? No. Okay, so there's the Gerson Institute is an amazing institute, and she left flyers, but they focus on organic, and it's a really amazing institution. So I'm gonna wrap this up because we like to end right on time. We really appreciate everybody coming out on a Friday night. So thank you to all of you for being on the panel.